I'm just too lazy to do my hair. That's why I wear the hat.
All right. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. Well, hello everyone. If anybody's here or the early adopters or whoever's here this early, thanks for being here live. Otherwise, if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching it after the fact. We stream these every other Wednesday, typically 10 to midnight or a little later. Yeah, every other Wednesday here on the Pinball Network. So check us out on Twitch or YouTube if you want to catch us live. Otherwise, thanks for watching this after the fact. The Pinball Network, there's a group of us that try to give you high quality pinball content nightly. And that's what this calendar is over here on the left side. Yeah, left. Here we go. So Sundays would be Jordan and Becca. I know they're on a break right now, just taking a few weeks off, but they'll be back. So that's Sunday nights. Monday nights is Hadi, Frisco Pinball, fantastic streamer, fantastic collection. He does normal pinball streaming on Mondays, and then he does some virtual pinball if you're into that. So check that out. Tuesdays would be the Pinballers. That's Mike, Lisa, and Carter. Fantastic family, really good players, fantastic collection, very entertaining. They're Tuesday night. Here we are Wednesday night with Flipping Out. That's me. Thanks for being here. Thursday, Chuck Wirt starts us off straight down the middle. Excellent player, excellent tutorials, followed by George. And a beautiful stream, very engaging, fantastic player. Check George out with Don't Panic Flip. And then normally sometime on the weekend, Jedi McMuffin Tommy usually streams with some of his neighbors and whatnot. So everybody that's coming in chat here, Sterling, hey, how you doing, man? We've been talking, Sterling, I'll mention some of the stuff we've been talking about, but Sterling, thanks for being here. Michael, how you doing? Well, life is good. Fruity Name Guy, ordering my first virtual pinball tomorrow. Can't wait. Don't have room for full size, so this will work. Oh, okay, so you're getting a smaller one. Got it, okay. Nice. Well, you'll have to ask, if you have questions, ask Hadi, because he knows his stuff. And then Balls of Steel, that's Sterling. So, wrong app. Yep. Yeah, Facebook, things are kind of weird tonight with restreaming Facebook. But Vintage Kong, how you doing? Haas, I built a virtual pin and now I own 2 real ones. Yes, I see the appeal in virtual pinball. And maybe, Hadi, you can talk a little bit about it when you do your intro. I definitely see the appeal. But it's hard to justify, at least in mine, it's hard to justify putting a virtual pin in a real pin spot. But the really done virtual machines with the haptic feedback and everything, I know Hadi has a really good one. Those are awesome, amazing. And Dennis, even who's on tonight, he has one as well. So maybe we can talk a little bit about virtual. But I'm getting the At Games micro version. Oh, cool! Got to mess with it. Yeah, that's a great intro into it. Maybe you'll love it, and then you'll just keep going bigger. So TPN is, what is that? Awesome. Got it. Okay. Well, that'll work. All right. Okay. So, yes, TPN, we do what we do because we have 8 amazing streamers. If we look at that real quick, these are 8, not streamers, sponsors. Here are 8 sponsors. Comet Pinball, Ryan and his team make some incredible LEDs for anything and everything light related. If you're going to replace a bulb or add lighting to your game, reach out to them with any questions you have. They will treat you right. Their products are incredible. I assume anybody on this talk tonight probably doesn't think of anybody else when it comes to their light needs besides Comet Pinball. Measle Mods, fantastic mods for most modern and actually a lot of games. They have some really cool stuff to add to your game, make it your own, make it fun. Scorbit, Jay and his team make this really cool board that you can put into any game, and it'll help get your game on the internet so that some games have achievements. American Pinball games moving forward will have Scorbit. All JJP games have Scorbit. Really, really cool device and program, an app that you can use to track all that. Stern Pinball, maker of some incredible games. Everybody on this chat owns a Stern Pinball game. Bond just came out, and I assume in a few months another one will come out. They are incredibly good at making awesome games. Pinmonk makes some really cool flipper fans. If you find yourself playing for a long time and your flippers are getting weaker over time, he makes some fans that you can put in your game, keeps those nice and consistent, as well as the silent fan mod for any modern Stern. You can replace the fan in your power supply, and it makes it silent. It's fantastic. Fantastic. See what I did there? Zach and Nicole Flipping Out. Amazing distributor. If you need a new used game, any accessory, reach out to Zach. They will treat you right. I'm very grateful for them. I stream for them. This is the Flipping Out stream tonight. So awesome people. Pinball Photos, the guy takes some incredible photos and has some beautiful artwork that you can print out and hang up in your game room. Definitely check it out. If you don't see any art, if you see if you're looking at his artwork and you don't see a game that you want, reach out to him because he has some pictures that he's taken of games that he doesn't have posted online. So they are very, very well done. And last but not least, Speaker Light Kit. Incredible mod. You can see them behind me right here. I have them both in Deadpool and Turtles. And he makes an incredible speaker light kit for Godzilla that I think Hadi has. Once you start adding light kits to your games, you're going to want to add them to like all their games. They are fantastic. So Doug will treat you right. And there we go. Those are our 8 sponsors. And let's go ahead and introduce the four of us that are going to be chatting it up tonight. Hadi, that background, man, that is so good. So we'll go around the circle. Who are you? What do you do? And what was the last game of pinball you played? So Hadi, we'll go ahead and start with you, man.
All right. My name is Hadi. I'm Frisco Pinball. I stream on TPN on Mondays, as Joel said. I have a virtual cab and then 3 physical cabs. I have Godzilla, AIQ, Adventures Infinity Quest, and Black Knight Sword of Rage. The last thing I streamed physically was Godzilla. I'm really trying to get to Planet X. It's eluding me, but I need to clean the playfield. I just realized I'm seeing some dark spots, and it's my first maintenance I've ever done on a pin, so I'm excited to start learning about how to take care of my own pins. And then virtually, I was testing Iron Man. There's a brand new, really high quality version of Stern's Iron Man that's coming out. And I also played a new original table, the Die Hard trilogy, an homage to the Data East games of yesteryear. So shout out Astro for the creator. It plays really well. I think if you dabble into virtual pinball, you'll realize it's a real gem. So there you go.
Very cool. You're saying Godzilla is the first game that you've had to like clean and wax? So
my other pins, I haven't really, just like dusting. But
yeah.
Godzilla has 600 plus plays on it. The others have a few,
well,
maybe
yeah,
100 or.
That's what I was going to ask, because you've had Godzilla, like you had Black Knight before Godzilla, but you've already put way more plays on Godzilla than you have Black Knight.
Yeah.
Wow,
so
okay.
So I learned like I reached out. Cliffy is sending me my protector set for Godzilla. I may try to install those on my own. We'll see. I might get a friend who did my Black Knight Cliffy's. But yeah, I'm excited because I need to learn this kind of stuff. And if you're a new pin owner or you're a longtime pin owner, maintenance is a big part of it.
So let's go ahead and because Les here in the chat, I'm going to sneeze. How do you clean your pin? Mike, can you answer that? Oh, that's not the mute button. That's the beep button. I'm going to sneeze.
Okay, so there's like many different ways that people clean their games. There's not like one definitive way to clean your game. There's many different products, many different waxes, many different cleaners, all that sort of stuff that you can use to clean your playfield. What I personally do is, yes, I start with that. Is it pronounced novice or novice? That's
novice.
What I want to know.
Novice?
I say Novus.
Okay,
Novus.
So I use Novus 1 first to clean all the dark spots and all the it's usually coil dust is really what the dirt is on the playfield, right? So I usually use that to clean it out, and I'll even give it a vacuum sometimes too. Just take the vacuum and go over the playfield if it's really bad, and then. If I'm looking to clean the playfield very quickly, I will use a product, and some people hate it, CP100. I don't know if anybody's heard of that stuff.
CP100?
It's like a blue liquid. It's used for cleaning appliances, arcades, whatnot. It's quick. If you're looking to just get your playfield clean, it doesn't have the same effect as wax, but it will really clean your playfield very well. What people mostly do is just use wax, Carnauba wax, car wax on the playfield. You can use it the liquid form, or you can use the harder form, and you just buff it into your playfield. And after you put it on your playfield, I usually let it sit for 5-10 minutes, let it sort of dry out, and then you take a nice soft microfiber cloth and you just buff it away, and then you'll be amazed by how much faster your game will play after that. It's incredible.
Microfiber is the way to go. Novice 1 is definitely my go-to, and then Novice 2, I barely use Novice 2. The only time I've used that is when I buy like an old game that's really been played, where you can tell there's still dirt there that the Novice 1 didn't remove. But Novice 2 is not like oh, it's been 600 plays, let's rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Like Novice 2 is you use it only sparingly, you don't just squirt it all over the play field and go to town. And I do know, I mean, there are people that they straight up like put buffers on a drill and like are in there. It's like, to me,
I've done that when I first started. When I first started getting into it, I had that. But I also used to use Novice 2 on the play field. But it's actually a little abrasive.
Yep.
And can cause it'll cause like micro scratches on your play field. It's good for ramps if you have like cloudy ramps and stuff like that. It can help you get the cloudiness out of like plastic ramps and stuff. But
yeah, Mike, just saw that. So Hadi, I don't know if you knew that already, but there you go. Novice 1 is your friend. Even just a quick wipe down. I would assume 600 plays on a Godzilla new play field. I assume all you need is some Novice 1 microfiber cloth. Clean it up real good. Maybe like Mike's saying, if you have they make vacuum attachments that are like really fine and small. Get in there, clean it real good, and then just get the wax on it and keep going.
Yeah, that sounds good. I just bought a kit with 1, 2, and the Novice 1, 2, and 3. So
I've never used 3. I doubt you're gonna need that. But yeah, so Sterling here in chat saying many people think 2 is wax. It's not. Like 2 is only, it's an abrasive cleaner. You only use it where you see areas that the 1 is not picking
what's
up.
3 used for?
It's just a more aggressive polish.
Concrete? Okay. I don't know. It's aggressive. Yeah. You've used it, Dennis?
3 on old pins, yes. If there's swirls in the wood, but you need to be aware that you're cutting into the lacquer at that point, and use a deft touch. Same with Novice 2. You're eroding the clear coat every time you do that. If you put on the coat of wax, you're providing a shield of protection on top of the clear coat anyway. So in theory, when you're cleaning with your Novice 1, you're wiping up your old wax and putting down new wax, and it should be sufficient. Yeah. And that's why even modern pins recommend in their manuals that you do wax them. I know some people don't; they don't like how it plays because it plays faster. But that wax is additional protection, and between that and Novice 1, you should probably be okay on modern pins, in my view.
I agree. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah,
but Mike's right. Like if you're bothered because you've got scratches from the coil dust that have clouded up your ramps, Novice 2 you're erasing that damage with it's like using fine sandpaper.
Yeah, so. And you're not going to work your way through a plastic ramp with Novice 2.
And the clear coat can take a lot. Don't like if you've been using Novice 2, don't fret like you ruined your playfield or anything. Just be aware that it's a polish. So by definition, you're eroding something with it.
And Snoopy here, Snoopy drives a Tesla. Playfield protectors worth it. No waxing required. That's not true because
I have 2 playfield protectors.
Well, Mike, go ahead. What are your thoughts then on a playfield protector?
I actually put a playfield protector on Iron Maiden day 1. So there's actually never been a ball on that playfield at all. I have one on Black Knight as well. So cleaning them, yes, Novice 1 is typically all you really need to do. If you wax them, it will make them incredibly fast, like more than a regular playfield. But the difference with playfield protectors gameplay wise is it's a completely different surface. So you're going to get a lot more ball spin. So you're going to see the ball do a lot of different things that you normally wouldn't see on a regular playfield. It actually, I find, makes the games play a lot harder. I don't do the playfield protectors anymore because I do notice the play difference. So I stopped doing that, but they are definitely a lot easier to clean.
I will agree with that. I had a playfield protector. I bought an F14 Tomcat that had one on it. My view is if you have an older game that has cupped inserts or any sort of, if the playfield's not flat, then a playfield protector's a lot easier to do than, a playfield swap. So you can throw one of those on there, but man, as soon as you it's like you're playing on a sheet of glass. It's so perfect, and it makes the game so fast. So F14 Tomcat is already a brutal game. I can't believe you have it on Black Knight because it makes the games so fast and brutal. And the one thing I did see is around the edges, at least on my F14 Tomcat, there was dust and dirt was getting under them. And so it's like cleaning that out was kind of a pain. So Dennis, have you done one ever? A playfield protector?
No.
Okay. All right.
I put on Mylar on areas, and that's the extent of my additional protections.
Got it. Okay.
They're a pain in the ass to put in too, depending on the game as well. It's
Yeah.
like,
And I'll tell you something I'll do with the Mylar for folks if you're curious, like you want to add additional protection, but you're worried about getting rid of the Mylar later. Wax it first and put the Mylar on. It'll peel right up like a sticker when you're done with it.
Huh. All right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. To me, I mean, I understand there are people that are very worried about keeping their pinball machines as pristine as possible, but to me, it's just like you're throwing around a metal ball. Something's gonna dent, scratch, break at some point. So I don't know. I've just like embraced it and just kind of keep it clean, keep it waxed. That's good enough for me. I don't feel the need to like, I don't know, like put a playfield protector on, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, if I see like like I put additional Mylar around one of that open scoop, the left scoop on TNA, because I started to have the clear coat lift because of the damage. So if I see damage, and I've done some of the Cliffies and stuff, and that's about as far as I go with things. I'm not an arcade. I don't put enough plays on to do a lot of damage, and physical devices are going to show wear. They're going to get dimples and all of that. I saw someone ask in the chat about balls, about like cleaning the balls. I'll wipe them down with a microfiber cloth, but that's about, other than that, I do inspect them when I clean the playfield to see if they're pitting. I do not replace balls annually. They should not need to be changed that often.
Yeah.
Just look to see if the ball is rusting or corroding, because if it's starting to have that sort of damage, it's tearing up your playfield. But honestly, the odds of that happening are about only if you get a pinball machine that was like out by the ocean or something. You shouldn't see. This is like old timey stuff. You shouldn't be encountering bad pinballs that are like wearing away and destroying your playfield unless they were abused.
Yeah, I see you. Jobber, do I put towels all over my game? No, I don't care how cool of a towel you get printed for your game. It will never look better than a playfield. Like, I just don't, no interest in that.
No, and if you've seen the big covers that cover everything, including the head and like that's overkill. Unless your game is sitting in like direct sunlight, you don't need to do that kind of stuff to your game.
Yeah.
Just a little, glass cleaner, and you're good to go.
You moved on, yeah. But hey, it's your game. Do what you want. But to me, anything that's going to become a barrier or slow me down from playing the game, I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't want to. I know I'm lazy, so it's like, oh, do I really want to take the cover off to play a quick game of Turtles? Like, nah, I don't know. But
I think people just sometimes worry about that they're not doing enough, and it's actually, I mean, they're pretty hardy machines. My biggest problem with cleaning actually is I do a crap job taking the buffing the wax off after it dries. And I have to go back in because I'll clog at least one switch full of wax because I was lazy and I didn't rub it down right, and it's just a sad thing. I'll get balls clumped with wax on them, and I'm like, you know what? I did a really crap job.
Or you forget one little area that you didn't wax or whatever, and you notice it afterwards. I actually sometimes go with a vacuum after I've waxed as well, just to get the little balls of wax that are left on the paper.
I should vacuum.
So Pinmonk's saying this P21S. You're saying you don't have to do that. You don't have to do it after. Like, what's special about this wax? I don't know. That's what he's saying. It doesn't whiten, so it just stays clear. But it could still gunk up if you put on too much, I assume. But
yeah, I just use Mother's wax. It's just Mother's Carnauba car wax when I wax it. I don't use anything specific for pinball. I go to Walmart and pick up the Mother's wax, and that's it.
Well, I have some hard tin of stuff. Someone recommended on Pinside years ago amongst a list of 30 other options that I just saw on Amazon, and I've used it for years. It's just like a floor wax.
Well, if somebody hasn't bought their own wax yet, Hadi, I don't know if you have wax yet, but if you haven't, this is, there you go. There, make Pinmonk happy. Victor's a smart dude. If you're gonna buy some, what is it? How do you say this word? Carnauba?
I always said Carnauba.
Carnauba?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yeah, Carnauba wax. If you're gonna have to buy some anyways, apparently this is the one. Carnauba. All right, this is the one to get. That's what he's suggesting. So there you go.
Well, I'm getting low on my current one, so that'd be something to try.
There we go. Try it out. Let us know. Balls of Steel. I use S100. Okay. Well, hey, these are great. I mean, chat, keep going, but let's go. We'll go ahead and get through our introductions here. Dennis, Who are you? What do you do? And what was the last game of pinball? Oh wait, yeah, Hadi, you said you played. Yeah, Godzilla. That's right. You was your last one. Got
Yeah,
it.
because
Okay,
he wants to get to Planet X
that's right.
or Monster Zero or
You
something.
are so. Sterling wasn't joking. It looks the exact same. S100. It's like the exact same brand, but okay. I don't know. Well, no powder residue. Well, get one of those. All right, Dennis, go for it.
I'm Dennis. I co-host on the Pinball Show on the Pinball Network with Zach Minnie. I do that every other week, and then the other weeks that I'm not doing that show, I do Eclectic Gamers podcast with Tony. And last game I played, I believe, was Godzilla as well as Hadi. So, but I'm not trying to get nearly as far. I just try and survive.
So no Planet X for you. That's what I'm hearing.
No, I'm more like Planet A.
Planet E, Earth. You are holding it firm. No, so exciting news for me. I am getting Godzilla tomorrow. So tomorrow, it's finally happening. It's finally happening. So I can't wait to participate in this conversation because I am so behind. And it's like I talked to, the two Triple Drain guys, Tom and Travis, both have one. And then talked to Loser Kid guys, Josh and Scott both have one. The three of you guys all have one. Like, I mean, Godzilla is just, I get it. Everyone loves it. But I'm excited. I'm excited to get it. But
well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I will note. It scrolled past, so I don't know who asked it. Someone asked about the pinball art on my wall. Tilt Cycle. You can go check Tilt Cycle if you want. Playfield. They often have playfields available, and you can go and like already stocked up, and you can make an order, and it's like a plug-in LED. They also have battery-powered ones too. And so that is a 1946 Step Up is the name of the game. It was a Ginkgo, flipperless, obviously, because flippers weren't invented for a couple more years.
Mike is just.
Yeah, I'm working on my video here. Sorry.
Okay, because I'd almost induced seizures in me.
So here we go. TiltCycle.com art.
Ooh.
Mini pinballs. What?
I like this.
Yeah, and like I think there are like custom, like really artistically created things. Like there's a whole portfolio of stuff
that they've done.
Yeah.
Shop art.
But there were back in the day when I ordered mine, there was like a page that just said, here are playfields that were, parted out from destroyed machines, basically. And you could pick one of those, or you could send a playfield in and get it color LED'd and all of that. Like a lot of the plastics and stuff were the originals that came on that game. I think anything that was like missing a new cap got stuck on and whatnot. Nice. And so anyway, yeah, I can't remember how much it was back then. Prices are probably up more than they were. Yeah, I got this probably at least 5 years ago.
I'm not actually seeing much for sale. I think he's...
Yeah, there's only a couple playfields. They have like a
Sold out
Beach
a lot.
Girls and...
Yeah. Very cool. Mike, Conti here saying you're getting beamed up to the Enterprise, so thanks for sticking with us.
I might flicker in and out as we go.
Hey, that's all right.
What's that? Is that because you're using an American webcam with a Canadian computer, or what's going on?
Yeah.
Which he smuggled across the border, probably. Yeah. No. Tilt Cycle. I'm pretty sure the Buffalo Pinball guys are sponsored by Tilt, so I think there may be a chance that if you buy something from them, try Buffalo as a coupon code, you might get something off. So I don't know, just a thought. How do you drinking straight vodka over there? Is that what I just saw? Just straight from the bottle?
Topo Chico.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Dennis, thanks for being here. Mike, now that you look great. Who are you?
Thank you. I am Mike, and I am one of, I guess, the pinballers that streams Tuesday nights on TPN, and then various other times, tournaments and other streams as well on our Pinballers channel. I guess the last game I played was X-Men. That's actually the newest game to enter the bunker. So Avengers is sold. We did originally trade it for a Spider-Man, and then he sold the Spider-Man, so he gave us Jurassic Park. And then my friend sold Jurassic Park, so we got rid of that, and we sold Avengers, and now we have X-Men. It's I'm enjoying the game. It's not as deep as you would find with your LCD games, or even like some of like let's say Walking Dead, for example. The layout is very, very similar to Rush. So I was a little worried about, obviously owning both of the two games and playing X-Men. It's different enough. And I do find, some of the shots, while they're all in the same spot, some of them are a little tighter on X-Men, some of them are tighter on Rush. So there's some differences there. The feeds are a little different as well. One thing I'm not a fan of is the voice acting.
Yeah.
It's pretty terrible on the X-Men. It's actually like laughably terrible. But the animations and the screens and everything are really good. I really like the animations. Actually, I'd like to put a color DMD in it because I think it would look really good. But yeah, if there's a custom code or something like that changes the voices to something better than what's there. I mean, other than that, I'm really enjoying the game. I just wish that they hired somebody with acting talent to do the voices.
Yeah,
I'll record some call outs for you.
There we go.
It's like,
For store.
I used to on location tell when we had an X-Men, and it did have the color DMD and does look really good. I used to tell them that I did the voicing. I did Storm, and they would, if they knew about like the podcasting, they'd think maybe I was a big enough deal that I actually did do it, and it's bad enough that you could believe it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, it's so uninspired, like just some of the call outs. It's like you're on a Zoom call or something with like a work meeting or whatever, and it's just like they're bored and they just don't want to, they want their day to be over.
Rising.
Yeah.
Oh no, Magneto.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That was actually better than what's in the game.
Yeah, that's
actually.
the thing. It's like once you know an instrument, it's hard to play it wrong.
Yeah.
So Dennis, how many Patreon supporters do you need to get you to re-record all the X-Men lines? And
I think I need to hit at least 50.
50, okay.
That's right. Eclectic, patreon.com/eclectic_gamers, and you can provide critical financial support. I don't know. I might need that money to dry my tears after Carter went in and stole my Jacks to Open high score. I don't have very many high scores on Pindigo. And
that's
one
his
less
game.
now.
He bought that game. That's his first purchase. So, he saved his winnings over the summer from various pinball tournaments, and he bought Jacks to Open.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the high score on it was like 6 million or whatever, and he's been trying to beat it, and he finally got there. And when he showed me his score on Pindigo, I saw Dennis K, and so I had to
rub it in.
I used to own one.
Yeah.
There's a guy in South Kansas who was selling it, and I thought, oh wow, that looks like a really interesting snipers drop target game. Ed Krinsky design, remake essentially of Jack's Open, which is a wedge head. And so
different rule sets. The rule set's a little different than the EM. Yeah,
the cards are in a different order. Plus, what gets lit with the top lanes is different. But you still get the fun out lanes that you can bounce and try and save the ball back into the in lane because there's a gap there. And
so Jacks to Open.
Yes.
Yeah. The EM is
ADA.
The EM is Jacks Open,
Mm-hmm.
which is the exact same layout, but the digital is Jacks to Open. I believe this is actually Gottlieb's first digital game too. I believe it's the first game they did with digital score displays.
It's a system ADA. Sure? I'm very sure. It's a system ADA. So System 1s came all before that with digital scores. System 80s like Haunted House and Black Hole predate this game. It might be the first System ADA. I don't know. But
maybe.
But it's after System 1.
This seems brutal. Like all these are perfectly horizontal, straight down the middle.
Yeah.
Like
what Mike didn't say is my high score was like around 2 million.
So he beat it.
It was 3.
Maybe it was 3.
Maybe
it was 2. I had to pass the 2 million.
All right.
And so anyway.
Give yourself credit.
Well, cool. Well, thanks, Mike. Thanks for being here, man. And thanks for having a kid who beats all our high scores. So well done.
It's that youth.
It's a youth.
I don't have the reflexes.
Yeah.
I could have been contender.
And my name's Joel. I do this. I do the Flipping Out stream, and then I do Triple Train Just Another Pinball Podcast. And the last game I actually played was Turtles. My brother was over here earlier, and we were playing some Turtles co-op. And man, I love the game. I love the game. That's all I can say. I really enjoy Turtles. But Mike, you had mentioned Rush. I've got to give Ray Day a shout out. Ray Day Pinball. This guy knows a little bit about Rush because I mean he wrote all the code for it. But he actually just put out today a tutorial on modes. So there's definitely some confusion, or people are a little confused on Rush, what you do in Rush, how you start a mode, all that good stuff. And I mean, it's a 20-minute video, but I will tell you, even the first 10 minutes describes what to do in regards to modes and whatnot, really well. So anybody that's watching this after the fact, go watch this video. It's great. It's really good.
Yeah, I watched some of that earlier today. It's a very, very good explanation for somebody who's just getting into Rush. It's not like deep and complex because the game itself is pretty complex. It's nice and easy to understand. He explains it well, so it's definitely worth watching.
And he's good at pinball. Like he actually hits the shots that he says he's going to hit. So I will tell you, I saw some code changes that were not there when I had the game. So I mean, it's very clear that he has continued to tweak it. But like this rainbow shot per each ball, I don't remember that at all. So there's some really cool stuff in there for sure. But all right, well, to be honest, chat. We do have a game. We're going to save that for after the break. But yeah, let's just go through some pinball news. If there's anything particular you guys want us to talk about, let us know. But I know the one thing that was new today was people actually got their Mando toppers or started the process of getting their Mando toppers. Shout out to this guy, Carl Hungus. Is that I think his name? Oh, sorry. I'm not sure. Carl Hungus. Yeah. There's, this is on the Mandalorian topper released stream here. Dalton, anyone going to Free Play Florida? I'm not. I think Travis and Tom are. But yeah, we can check this out. The guy, it's interesting. He has an unboxing video, and the main thing that he shows here in the unboxing is I didn't realize, but this whole outside's one big sticker. And so if you look, like the sticker's kind of going up on one side, and then you can see it's put in crooked because by the time you get to the other side, it's hanging off the back. So he wasn't in love with that, for a $2,000 topper.
Wow.
And then, but I will say the inside here looks pretty neat. Like there are definitely some 3D effects with the different levers. There's, what is it? Like he keeps harping about the sticker, but you can see there's, oh, don't do that to me. There's the screen at the bottom here, and then there's a mirror. And then, yeah, each one of these are kind of 3D inside, which is pretty cool. I don't know. I think it looks like it is cool. It's kind of looks like a diorama almost.
So you're like in the cockpit of a ship or something,
exactly.
Right? Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay.
And this I thought was really interesting. Anybody that's ever actually done a stern topper, normally they mount just flat right on the top of the box. I remember in the podcast, the Stern Insider podcast, where they were talking about the toppers, they said last minute they decided to literally angle the entire topper down just because from a height standpoint, it would be more beneficial for the holographic effect. And so there's actually this entire metal wedge type mounting bracket that you have to mount onto your game first, and that's what angles the entire topper down, which I thought was interesting. And then here is a gameplay video where the guy was, it's a 10-minute long video, but when it boots up, what I was impressed by is it's different up here than what's down here on the screen. So as he's flipping through, you can see different high scores on the top than on the bottom. There's some cool graphics. Where is it? Like, there's the Stern logo. And it said it is a very convincing holographic effect. I don't think the lights on the inside here change any color besides that. So the light shows not... Oh, that's a lie. There's some white and some red. Okay, so there's some. Maybe they'll add more because he did have some video here of just the... what is it? Like the attract mode effect, and there wasn't a ton there. And... it doesn't look like there's a ton of video. At least maybe the guy just sucks at pinball, but he made a comment about that There's a lot more still images there, but I mean, you do have a whole nother screen that is displaying complete new content, so it looks pretty slick. So I don't know. I was impressed by the video, but what I was surprised by was at the end, the guy was not. I don't think he was in love with it. He in his basement he has that. Right next to it is the Star Wars topper, and then right beside that he had the Ghostbusters topper. And yeah, he's like, the Ghostbusters topper looks incredible all the time, but it was a $500 topper when it was new, or maybe it was only $250. I don't remember. It wasn't crazy. And then the Star Wars topper, he's like, that's $1,000 and it does nothing. He literally has it turned off because apparently the turning head is really loud. So he's like, for this to be a $2,000 topper, he kind of wishes it does more. But one thing he did not talk about, at least in the video, was, I mean, he didn't get to any of the extra modes. And I don't know. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts? Hadi, I know you're a huge topper guy. I know you're all in, but it's interesting having another screen up there, but it's hard enough to look up at an LCD screen. Are you really going to look all the way up during the game? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
It's more, I guess, when let's say you're starting a mode or a multi-ball or some sort of action and event, when you get that pause, that you can really take a look at the things around you. So that's when I'll look at the LCD and see, oh, okay, this is for Godzilla.
Yeah.
How much more do I need for tank multi-ball, etc. So I think it's an amazingly beautiful topper.
Mm-hmm.
But that sticker really bugged me too when I saw that just now. It's $2,000. You gotta your BOM has got to include a little bit more for the community if you're going to charge that much. I think that if they have the ability to add changes, whether it's code wise or anything to the actual topper, they'll do it to make it more interactive. And so I think it could become, I don't think it'll ever dethrone Black Knight as the best topper,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's a really cool piece. I love the shape of it, and I love the light show and the hologram, the design of the hologram of how it kind of looks. And I agree with you; it looks like a diorama, which is, I think, really neat. But $2,000, man, that's a steep price to pay for what it has. If I had a Mando, would I get it? Probably.
Yeah, we know you would. We know
I
you would. Yeah.
I love toppers. I think toppers.
Yeah.
When I got into pinball, I had no clue what a topper was, and then I started discovering even Pinbot had one. It had the little red, siren lights or whatever it was. Even Fire has one with the little bell. So
those come with the machines, though. You're not
Yeah,
paying
yeah.
extra for those.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
pay
this
anything
is-
extra for TNA's beacon. It was on it. Yeah.
This is a new day and age, and it's not a good it's not a good path we're going towards.
Yeah.
But we've been on that path for a long time. So
Well, I have voiced this before. What scares me about this $2,000 topper is Godzilla's topper's not out yet. And
oh my god.
and I'm pretty sure I'm going to want it. So that's what scares me is, one, is this going to be a thing? Or is Godzilla's topper going to be $2,000? And is it going to have additional modes? I don't know.
Well, take a look at AIQ. They had the gem mode in their topper, and they just added it via the recent firmware updates or the code updates. Same with
to Insider Connect though.
They added it, so now anybody without the topper can play it, I believe. So I have a feeling it's almost like timed exclusivity on DLC for video games. Like it'll last for 6 to 9 months, and then boom, once that period's over, then maybe everybody can enjoy it.
I mean, that sounds great. That sounds
It's
great,
not
but
a good thing. It's not a good thing in video games.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
great to the people who won't buy a topper, but the people that pay for the topper to get those modes,
Yeah.
and then once they find out that well, I didn't have to pay $2,000, I just wait a little bit and I get those modes. Then what is your $2,000 paying for? You're basically paying $2,000 for a mini Pinball 2000 display.
Well,
I mean, the display on the Revenge from Mars and the episode 1, it's just a screen on a reflective piece of glass, really. And then, like you said, the stickers, I mean, they could have had molded plastic like they have in the games at least, or something, I mean.
So Balls of Steel Pinball here, Sterling, I've actually been messaging him because he made his own custom Mando topper, and he said, and it looked really cool, but he had put a screen in it, and he had a mini video player, and he just took a bunch of clips from the game, and it was just scrolling video clips. And I just I asked him, I said, hey, have you plugged that display into the HDMI out on the CPU board, because that's what somebody found, that all these video clips are there. And so he did that, and then he just recently told me with this new code update, all the videos there. So you can plug in any monitor via HDMI to the HDMI out on the CPU board and see all the video that's on that topper. So what I'm curious of is, I'm assuming because the CPU board isn't detected, I doubt you're going to get the modes. But if you just want the video showing all the cool stuff, somebody's going to make a mod. Somebody's going to. Now, what Sterling did tell me is the video is flipped, just because that's how this display works. It's a mirrored video with a mirror. So somebody's going to make a mod that's going to either have a display that you mount up there, kind of like the Hobbit book that Zach sold to flip it out. The Hobbit, it'll be that, where they'll have to mirror the video, or they're going to make a display that's flat with some sort of mirror. I bet somebody will make something like this, and that'll be half the price. If all you care about is the video, I think somebody else will make it. Every projector can projector, yes, but an LCD, it'll be. I'm just telling you, that's at least what Sterling there in chat, balls of steel. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what he's seeing. So that surprises me that the video is not locked out. So because if it stays that way, I guarantee somebody else is going to make a topper that will use that video.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I know
The Godzilla topper, I mean, it's going to have to breathe fire.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or have an actual heat ray or something in it.
You know how Whirlwind has a fan? It better be like something that actually flows fire.
That's the thing. Honestly, in my opinion, with the exception of, actually, I really do like this topper. I think the topper does look cool. The sticker thing does irk me a little bit just because of the price, but it does look cool. I like the holographic effect that it gives. And the Black Knight topper, aside from those two toppers, the other toppers are, they're fine. But the best toppers were the ones that came with the Bally Williams games, like the Fishtails topper, the Addams Family, Whitewater, all these toppers that came with the game back then. They were awesome. They had effects. They weren't obviously they weren't expensive. They came with the games. So but they were still, like, they're memorable. Like the Fishtails one with the flopping fish in the topper was great. So I feel like those toppers, when they came with the game, they put not that they didn't put effort into them, but like these have effort into them. But some of them, like for example, the Guardians one, or the Game of Thrones one, that kind of stuff. It's just, or even the Deadpool. Like I know you have the Deadpool one, but isn't it just like a little wavy hand or something like that in there? Like,
the entire reason I got the Deadpool one, which it's easier, you can see it there, is he has a thumbs up and thumbs down, and my daughter, it's become a joke, like daddy's jokes, and she gives me a thumbs down. So I just knew that she would think that was cool. And that's all it is. It's a moving hand with a cool light show. But I mean, somebody in chat there said it. I mean, the point of the topper is to attract people into playing the game. According to Zach's bracket, the Kiss topper is what, like number one? I mean, it's just, or like, I don't know. But now that these toppers, I mean, I've made the mistake of having one, because now this guy looks blank. And if I get a Godzilla, it's just, I'm in trouble. And I know, Mike, that's why you're smart and haven't done it. Hadi, we know you can't, you have no control. You're going to buy every topper. We know it.
Yep.
Yeah, we are in.
That's a given.
And Dennis, you have the Walking Dead topper, right? That you won. Were you able to put that up, or I know you, yeah.
It scrapes the ceiling, so I don't have it on.
Oh, well, Dennis, what would it take for you to get a Godzilla topper? Like, is there any justifiable reason that you can think of that you would buy a Godzilla topper?
No.
You're just.
Well, you're rolling in Patreon money. You should be able
to. Yeah.
It's not whether or not we could. It's whether or not we should.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, they're the price of games, like $2,000 US here. I mean, I could get a Meteor for that, or I could get, a decent solid state for that. I would much rather have another game than a topper. Like, I like the topper, but
yeah, I mean, the Mando topper is very attractive, in terms of the screen effect and such. It's just, toppers, by and large, I think, especially modern toppers, because they historically were designed to catch the eyes of others. It's not for the player. There are some exceptions in the past, the whirlwind topper blowing in your face. This is why beacons are so useful, because you know the light show's going on while you're experiencing the game. I mean, that's part of the hype of playing the getaway, is that beacon fires on when you're in the multi-ball. And the same thing with TNA when it's time to blow up the reactor. That's all an active player can enjoy. You can't look at a screen while you're playing. You're going to trap up and look at it, and that's going to get old in how many plays? 5? Yeah. I mean, so that's the issue. I'm not going to know Godzilla's blood. Here's a Godzilla topper I would consider buying if it wasn't unreasonable. You mentioned like the atomic breath. I want that thing to have a hairdryer coil in it. When it fires, it blows hot air on my face
and trips your circuit breaker.
That he is melting my face.
Are you listening, Stern?
Yeah.
That I would probably buy. But as a player, when I'm playing the game, most of the times I'm not going to be able to really truly enjoy the topper while I'm actually playing. So to me, it's not good value for money versus another mod. I'd rather have a building mod in the game I can look at every time I shoot and lock a ball than I would a topper. So that it's just, to me, it's a weak mod because it's not one that I as the player get to enjoy.
Cut in Indiana Jones face melting scene. Well done, Victor.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you because my view a few years ago, I thought toppers were just so dumb. And I'm with you, Mike. I was like, why in the world would I buy a topper when I could just get another game? But now I'm stuck, and I know Hadi's in the same position, and I think Dennis, you're in the same position where it's like, I can only fit so many games. So once I'm maxed out, it's like, well, what do I want to do when I make pinball money? Do I want to, I'm not gonna spend money on my kids, right? I mean, I want to keep it in my self-contained pinball ecosystem. So it's like, what do I do? Do I save to buy another game that I can't fit down here, or do I try to make the games that I love better, or improve? I don't know, mod them out more and more. I don't know, and I feel like I made a mistake. Not a mistake, but buying this one topper opened a whole can of worms that Mike and Dennis are smart enough not to do.
This is where you should have a secondary hobby, and then you get to do your value comparisons and say, would I rather spend this on pinball, or would I rather put this money into another hobby?
Well, I know, Dennis, you're into watches, so it's like I watched your state of collection last year. I think you said 8 watches was going to be your max, whatever it was. You're like, I'm committing to this number, and this year your number is bigger. So that commitment.
Well, mistakes were made, but
it
gets awkward with things like that, because when you get gifts, it's like, well, I can't really get rid of the gifts, so I have to bloat the number because they're gifts. I'd feel bad selling gifts.
Yeah, no one's gifting me pinball machines. I need to get right on that. But it's interesting.
It's difficult. Now you'll know Triple Drain made it when you finally get gifted a pinball machine.
There we go. Okay, that's what we need to.
We did that on EGP.
You were gifted a pinball machine?
Tony was.
Oh, what game?
Campus Queen.
Oh, that's the one he has. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Ozok, the fact that Mando is not a good enough pin to deserve the expensive topper. Well, I don't know. I mean, Mike, you still have your Mando. No,
I don't. I don't have my Mando, but it's not because I didn't like the game. I mean, I got through everything there was to do in the game more than once. It's fine. And I'm actually considering, I have my Led Zeppelin premium up for trade right now, and somebody has offered a Mando premium.
Oh.
And I've been thinking about it. I haven't really had a chance to play one. I'd like to at least try one first. But I've been toying with the idea of maybe bringing a premium in, perhaps. I don't know. But it's not a bad game. I mean, it's got a lot of moments in it. It's really well integrated with the screen
show
and the theme and everything. Yeah, it's great.
Mando is definitely. I will tell you, I played a premium at Clepen, and I had a lot more fun on the premium than I did the pro when I had the pro here. So I think that's a game I do think is definitely a different experience on the different one. But I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, you've already really processed that game. You've had to give it up once. I don't know that feeling of wanting to bring it back or how that would work. But
we at the ceiling for MSRP on toppers now? Like, is 2,000 the ceiling, or are we going up? Because I feel like JJP learned a hard lesson on the Toy Story release MSRP, and now Stern is testing the waters at 2,000.
Well, I don't think we're going to know that answer until distributors have them in stock and they're just sitting on a shelf. Like that's, I don't know. I mean, I would be surprised, Zach, whatever order you placed. I assume. I mean, I know distributors, the allotment they have are all sold out. So how long? At what point are we going to get to? I mean, technically, Toy Story CE sold out, but then people backed out. I don't know. People are gladly paying 20 plus for Power. Well, yeah, the game, but you're saying for. I'm assuming no, but I would hope that if toppers are going to continue to go up in price, I would hope that they continue to go up in what they are.
Provide.
Yeah, provide. And whether it's
even more stickers.
more, yeah.
I don't think we're at the ceiling of it. And I would say it's maybe in a way it's less important because Stern's business model isn't going to be made or broken on the back of accessories. So they can be far more experimental than the blunder that was Toy Story 4. I mean, if Toy Story 4 had been GNR, we might have seen a different response. But when people come to set it up at your house, Joel, and on their first game they get to the wizard mode,
who would do that? Yeah, that
it doesn't matter if the game's fun. At that point, everyone's like, "Well, I don't pay $12,000 for a System 11."
Yeah,
and that's the experience that everyone saw.
Yeah, Rod Dog. Sorry, man. Sorry, Craig isn't here. Craig actually was planning on being here, and then last minute had some family stuff to come up. So
yeah, Rod Dog. So everyone knows because I don't think they know, Joel. I don't think you've shared this. If I'm on, it is because someone else bailed. I am never the first choice.
No, my go-to are typically Mike and Craig because they're always game. Like I don't want to mess. Like I don't want to worry about whether or not I'm going to get 4. It seems like Mike and Craig are always in. And then the last person I like to rotate between Hadi, Dennis, George, and anybody else. And so, but hey, Dennis, I'm sorry. Next time I will ask you first. I'll ask you first. But yes, I don't know. Just to finish up on toppers, I don't know. But I agree. Godzilla just dominates in so many things. Support the Patreon. Yep. He dominates on so many things. Godzilla does. And I would be surprised if the topper's lame because it's so like Keith takes pride in everything else he's crafted and designed. And so I bet it's going to be great. But if it's $2,000 or more and it doesn't have a monitor in it or something, like that's going to be hard to swallow. Like I don't know. It just, I don't know. We'll see. What is this? Coyote 12. Sure, it's $2,000, but the money is in the topper, the sculpt and the lights. What you'd find in normal toppers, that costs $1,000. The mini screen and halo mirror, or holographic mirror are custom made, plus 3D models and animations and programming. Where I mean, I see it $1,000. Plus, you have a license. You got a license. You got to play with. I mean, I get it, but it's still. I get why it definitely has a ton of features in it compared to other toppers, but we're also talking $2,000. So I mean,
yeah, I think their key there is to make them limited. If they're really looking to keep the price point or even go higher with the price point, is to limit the amount that they're going to produce, right? Because you want people to have a fear of missing out, right? And getting them, because if they make them available to everybody, then you may not be able to price them as aggressively as they are.
Well, that's where I only hope. I think I mentioned this before. Godzilla topper, it's going to go one or two ways. It's they either know there's so many Godzillas out there, and so many people love this game, and so many people are looking at this as a custom game that let's give them a topper that's $800 and let's plan on selling a ton of them, or they're going to go the opposite and it's going to be huge. It'll be expensive. It'll be awesome, but there's going to be a lot of people priced out. So I don't know. Joel's getting a new game. I am. What, Hadi?
What were his last toppers? Jurassic Park, AIQ, and Iron Maiden. Those were just light shows, except AIQ was more interactive, I guess.
Yeah, but it was obviously cost a lot less. But
The Iron Maiden one was kind of cool with the head in the cockpit, right? It was like a little cockpit with Eddie's head
Yeah.
inside of it, and it moved around, I think.
Weren't there two of them? There's like an Egypt one and an Aces High one.
Yeah.
I think the
were.
Stern one, though, what was it?
think
Were
they're
they
both
both by
Stern.
Stern?
Yeah.
Yeah, both by Stern.
Yep. Because they were unique enough that they didn't make sense for the different models.
Right.
Pinmonk has a good question there. MacBook or Topper? I mean, they're the same price at this point. It's kind of crazy. Yes, Zach is mentioning tomorrow I'm getting my Godzilla. I'm really excited about that. I did see Pinmonk said he's kind of Godzilla'd out, and I would guess from most people that stream, I mean, there's a lot of Godzilla streams because a lot of people own it. So to be honest, I'm gonna get it. I don't plan on streaming it much, just because I think there's a lot of viewers that are Godzilla'd out at this point. And I don't know. I'm probably only gonna stream it. Like, I know once this fills up, I'm gonna have to get rid of a game or let my parents borrow a game for a little while. And I'm actually thinking about letting my parents borrow Godzilla, even though I haven't put a ton of time on it, just because I think they would probably have the most fun with it. My brother as well. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, Zach is bringing me a game tomorrow. I'm not streaming it tomorrow night on Flipping Out, but I will be streaming it next Wednesday. So new game. I will be streaming new game next Wednesday.
I think he said that there's going to be a topper on it too, so I'd be interested to see what that is.
So, I mean, if you had to guess, there is a topper coming. But
it's not for Godzilla. I thought he was.
No.
Okay.
No, there is a topper
Turtles.
coming, and I know Zach has some in stock, so I'm trying to do him a favor and show it off. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to help market.
You're such
here.
a giver.
I do what I can.
Well,
I've
you
been,
only give it half the effort you give the precision flippers, he should sell them all.
Whore. So what I've been doing is sending screenshots to Zach, circling this blank area and saying, "Hey, I could be advertising your accessories for you right here," and just chipping away at him.
Well, people might be sick of seeing Godzilla streams, but they are not sick of seeing Pinmonk commercials.
Oh, that's a great look. I'm just going to roll with that, Dennis. Thank you so much for the layup. Hey, please watch this sponsor video real quick. We have a game. We're going to play as soon as this is over. So 3-minute break. Either watch the video, love it, comment on it, and yes, we will. We'll be right back. So here we go.
Your pinball machine deserves the best. At Comet Pinball, you'll find the best variety of LED products with the best quality LEDs, and most importantly, at the best price. Your collection is begging for an upgrade. Order yours now at cometpinball.com.
Scorbit is excited to announce Achievements, the latest in an amazing series of features available to thousands of connected pinball machines around the world. Achievements are part of Scorbit's free open platform. Scorbit already supports hundreds of pinball machines from the 1970s to today. Give your games new life by connecting them to the Scorbit platform and the universe of applications for pinball machines.
All right. Well, thank you for everybody that stuck through that. I mean, I know everybody looks forward to Pinmonk's video every week. Victor, appreciate you. Appreciate the products too, man. But yeah, so here we are. TPN, here's the After Hours show. Once again, here's the TPN schedule. Jordan and Becca on Sunday, Hadi on Monday, Mike, Lisa, and Carter on Tuesday. Here we are Wednesday, followed by Chuck and George on Thursday, and Tommy on Saturday. And yes, we are very appreciative to the 8 sponsors that we have. Comet Pinball, all your LED needs. Measle Mods, some fantastic mods to add into your game. Scorebit, get your game connected to the internet. Stern Pinball, fantastic games. Cool toppers too. Pinmonk, he's in chat. Thank you, man. Thank you for everything you're doing. Zach and Nicole at Flipping Out. Any new used pinball machine you want or accessory, you want a Mando topper, reach out to Zach. He'll hook you up. Pinball photos, amazing photos to hang in your game room. And Doug at Speaker Light Kit, you can see them behind me there. You will want to add them to your games. Once you get one, you will enjoy all of them. So, or you're going to want to put them in all of your games. Yeah, I butchered that. They're great. Speaker Light Kits. There we go. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. All right. Here we go. So here's our game. We've been doing a lot of, which designers would you like this? If you had to pick 5 designers, or if you have to pick 5 of this, or you have to do this, or you have to do that. So here's our thought, and this is why Hadi has that incredible background. We have a lot of family time coming up. We got a lot of family time coming up, and that means people are going to come to our house and play our collections. So the game is, if you were to start over, or if you had the ability, if 5 games, you can have 5 games in your game room. But the point of the games are, what games are you going to pick specifically for everyone else? So what are the games that you would pick for other people to draw them in, or games that you think other people would enjoy playing, kind of family friendly, or I don't know, the group that's going to come to your house, your friends and family, what games would you pick specifically that would appeal towards them? That's the thought. So run 2 games for 2 months of the year, get 5 games for yourself. Yeah, we've talked about renting games before. So that's the plan. That's the thought. Do any of you want to go first? Do any of you guys want to go first on this? Is anybody pumped to talk about their 5 games?
I can give you 5.
Let's do it.
Are we doing 5, like nailing off 5? Or are we all doing 1 each, and then are we just going to give all our 5?
You've already thought about this more than I have, Mike. No, I don't know. It maybe if somebody, I don't know.
1 each might be good if we all have that on our list.
Okay, so if we agree on a particular pin, run off all 5 and dare others to beat it. Okay. Hadi, we'll just start with you. Let's give us 1 and let's see where we go from that.
Sure. So I have a mix of all ages that come for the holidays, including my own kids.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm looking for a family-friendly pin, I think that as far as modern light shows and appeal, you're definitely going to have to go Toy Story 4. I think accessibility is also a big thing. And I think just seeing my girls play some of the virtual tables that are more geared towards kids, like Blaze and the Monster Machines, Paw Patrol, Peppa Pig, Toy Story 4 would be a hit.
So there's a Paw Patrol virtual pin? Is that what you just said?
Oh yeah, I have a whole list of the Nick Jr. stuff. Because some people make tables because they have kids, like me, and so they have call outs. The Blaze one actually has video clips that play, like a modern LCD.
Interesting.
Or modern Stern.
Do you find friends and family playing the virtual pin?
Sometimes, they see now that I only had the virtual for a long time. But now that I have the physical ones, that's what they go towards.
Okay.
But the virtual one is good to show off because there's an older table that maybe someone older, like a parent or grandparent played. I'll say, "Oh, do you remember playing pinball?" They're like, "Yeah, I played this one called Kingpin or 300 or Balls of Poppin'." And I'll say, "Hey, if you want to play it, I have it."
That's kind of neat that you can. Okay, all right. I'll be honest. I have TS4 on mine. I'm in the same boat. I will tell you, I had Toy Story here, and that game was one of few games that I had my family members play by themselves. They would just step up, hit the plunge button or hit the start button, and the Duke Kaboom. The Duke Kaboom ramp was the was the main thing. Once they saw that was like, I want to hit that. I want to experience that shot. And even after they experienced it once, they came back for more. They came back for more. So I agree. Totally agree with you, Hadi. Totally agree. We'll just start. We'll do that. So Mike, let's go ahead and get one of yours.
Okay, so Toy Story 4 is not on my list, and that's only because it's an obvious choice. It's total obvious choice. I mean, you could really go with any with a lot of Jersey Jacks. You could go with Wonka. You could go with the Wizard of Oz. Those games definitely are oriented towards I guess a family type setting. But for me, I kind of as opposed to picking a 5-game collection that would appeal to everybody, I have a specific game for specific people in the visiting group of the family. So my first pick would be Shrek.
Shrek. Okay.
Shrek.
Raw Dog,
Yes.
Thank you for the compliment, by the way.
Shrek by Stern. If people aren't familiar with the
Shrek.
game, it's the exact same layout as Family Guy. It's got a little mini pinball machine. It's got call outs from the movie. The art is there. I believe they made Family Guy was more North American and Shrek was more European, I believe, was where the general most of the games went to.
Huh.
But Shrek would be, I guess, for the little ones.
Okay. Anybody else have Shrek? Dennis, you have Shrek on your you did not have all right. I had not even thought about it, Mike, but I see where your head's at. I get, yeah. Not a bad choice. Dennis, what do you got? What's number 1 on your list?
Well, I guess one I would say is I'll put Godzilla.
Okay.
You might as well have the best game of all time. Because if your goal is to get people into pinball, Godzilla's got a lot going for it. We'll assume premium, just because again with visitors, the bridge movement, the building movement, triple spinners and the pro is so much harder to play too on some of the shots. I think you go premium or LE on it. It's an excellent representation of modern pinball. And I will say this is the only LCD game that will be on my list.
Ooh, okay.
Right. Put me down for Godzilla.
Yep.
I've got Godzilla too.
There we go. Okay. All right. Yep. I was about to throw my hat in the ring there. I think it makes sense. For all the reasons you just said. God, now I have to mess with my font. No, I was wrong way. Jeez. I was really actually between Godzilla and Medieval Madness. Those were the two. I thought what they offer are very similar. And maybe, but to me, it was like both of them, you have a building you're bashing. And I just felt that Godzilla added more. So I was Godzilla as well. So I don't know, Hadi or Mike, do you have anything else to add to Godzilla?
No, you guys have said it all. It's just the best pinball machine I've played so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game anybody can walk up to and make something happen because there's so much in the game. So anybody of any skill level or age could walk up to the game and make something interesting happen with it. So
I'm with you. I totally agree. Well, Dennis, because you you open that can for everybody else, what's your second choice?
Okay. This will be, I'll do a DMD game.
Okay.
So Data East Jurassic Park, not Stearns.
Ooh.
And
interesting.
This one,
okay.
So this one's actually my one more for kids. Speaking from experience, because I did actually at one point own this game, and little kids in particular love it. So Jurassic Park, even though the film is from the early 90s, is still often watched because the CG and everything holds up very, very well. And even if they're not familiar with the movie itself, they are familiar with dinosaurs almost assuredly. The toys are different than Godzilla's toys, but obviously it's very easy to inadvertently get a ball into the scoop and have the T-Rex eat it. And so you've got a lot of subway action also on that game. So the ball disappears and reappears, and kids get surprised by that because their brains are simple. And just some other little elements like shooting the captive ball. I remember my niece in particular, she liked it. She, again, just flailing around, would inadvertently hit the captive ball. And that's how you hatch the little baby raptors. And so you got a little adorable little baby raptor, and it plays a little lullaby while it happens, and just all those little pieces. And there's all the voice work in it. I think that one is just, it's one where you can flail about and things and sounds are going to happen on the game. So I'll go with Daddy East Jurassic.
I had never thought about that, but I mean, that is there's plenty out there, and the cost is not absurd. So yeah, sounds like a decent, if you're trying to get a pin into your game room for the family, I mean, or just free. I don't know. I had really never thought about that. Mike, have you ever had that? Or
I have, I have had it, and it's a good game. A lot of people actually, and I've heard it a couple times, refer to the Daddy East Jurassic Park as sort of Daddy East version of like the Addams Family. It's like their best DMD game, their best game. It's got tons of modes. Lots of fun little toys and stuff like that. You have the hand in Addams Family, you have the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. So it's a great game.
Interesting. Arcade Hunters is saying Sam's Club used to sell them. That's crazy. Sold them out of the box. There was a crowd around it when the T-Rex ate the ball. Yeah, it's a cool mech. It's a cool mech. We talked about mechs on Triple Drain, and I think it upset some people. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a cool mech. I definitely like a cool mech. But it's for simple brains. So cool. Nice job, Dennis. I hadn't thought about that, but I'm thinking about it now, and nice. Wow. Okay. Mike, we'll go with you because Hadi started with his.
Okay, so I'm going to go with a DMD game as well. I guess another Stern DMD, actually. I got 3 Sterns, but this will be my last Stern. Monopoly. Monopoly. Yeah, that would be, good for anybody in the family, any age, I've owned a Monopoly myself as well. It's a fun game. It's got all the bells and whistles that you remember from the Monopoly. You're trying to travel around the board and get passcode to light your locks, and it's got a neat little layout. It's a Pat Lawler game.
Did I spell Monopoly wrong?
Monopoly.
God. I hate spelling so much. Oh, you have to have the whole word. Okay, I'm just trying to remember the layout. So Pinmonk, my wife loves the game.
It's a pretty unique layout. It's
got that flipper that's always moving.
It's got that standard Lawler with the 6 pop bumpers like you see in like Whirlwind or.
But don't you love Ripley's? Believe it or not, wasn't that a game? Yeah, but you'd pick Monopoly over that. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm talking not
for others.
I'm not being for me. This is like if I'm having a family gathering, what do I think people will enjoy playing? Who may not be into pinball, who just remember playing Monopoly as a kid. Like everybody's played Monopoly, the board game. I'm sure at least the majority of people have. So I just figure that this is a game that they might find interesting. Be like, oh wow, I remember playing this as a kid on the board game. Let's give it a shot. Play it.
Interesting. Dennis, thoughts on Monopoly?
It's a good pick. Actually, I have a family member who experienced a Monopoly at a pinball show and loved it and was like, I really wish I could find that game. We actually tried to find him one for a while, and they were just difficult to get at a price point we were after. But I think it's pretty approachable too. I've noticed with experienced players, it can be a very long player, but that also suggests that people who are less experienced can have a decent ball time. So it kind of could scratch that TS4 itch in a way, but I think that it's a lot more identifiable than what we see with Toy Story 4. I mean, it does feel like the board game. I actually enjoy shooting it. We've had it on location a few times.
Yeah, I'm saying there's some real cool ramps here.
Yeah, that little ramp in the front there, that's your railroad ramp. And when you hit that ramp 4 times and collect all the railroads, you get a multi-ball.
And is that dropping the ball just on the playfield?
It drops the ball, kind of like high speed. High speed it just drops the ball right in front of the slingshot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Monopoly is what I thought I once thought I had. Oh, mono. I thought is what I had for a dog. Okay. I typed it in wrong. Nice, Raw Dog. Yeah. Turns out I was just really bored. He didn't have mono. Nice. Very cool. Good pick. Huh. All right. I like it. All right, Hadi. What's your number 3?
I think for this next one, I always think of how I used to play just poker late night with my cousins and how it would always be fun to challenge them in something. So I was thinking of a good table for dollar games. And I wanted to do Slugfest, but it's limited to 2 players. So I think if I have a family gathering where it might be quick and fun to have a game where you can steal a lock ball, give them a good light show, and sort of fit the motif of, just something intense that everybody would enjoy. While the kids are playing, the adults are, waging dollars. I would go TNA. I think I would do TNA as another one, just so we could get a multiplayer in there that's quick, fast, and adds to the excitement.
Apparently I'm just not original because TNA's on my list. I freaking love TNA, man. To me, TNA is absolutely the game that I've had the most fun playing with other people. And even in my current collection, TNA is the game that when friends and family are over, that's what people want to play together. It's a great co-op game, not only competitively to go against each other, steal each other's locks, but also like, let's work on this together. I think it's an amazing game to introduce people into pinball. Dennis, you have a TNA. When you have people over, does it get played, or what's the views on that?
Yeah, it does, but I mean, everything gets played.
Okay.
So it's a little odd. I mean, I can't say that it necessarily is more of a draw than anything else. But people get more excited if you put it in co-op mode.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So in co-op mode, the rules are different because we're all working together. So that a lot of times if people want to mix things up a little bit and do it like that, it draws. If it's just like playing it competitively against some other stuff, it's so brutal that it doesn't resonate the same way.
Well, I was surprised. Like I said earlier, my brother was over here and all he wanted to play, he was down here playing. I was putting the kids to bed and all he was doing so far was playing Turtles. And when I got there, he was like, "Hey, can we do Turtles co-op?" And he wanted to play co-op on Turtles because he wanted to like explain what I'm doing, what's going on here. So yeah, what's the question? The idea is you have Thanksgiving coming up, you're going to host, you need to pick 5 pins that are going to appeal to the largest audience or to your friends and family. That's the idea. So like, yeah, that's the idea. So he wanted to play Turtles co-op, and what was interesting was we played a handful of Turtle co-op games, and then he's like, "All right, I want to play against you now." Like he just wanted that co-op experience to kind of learn more, and then he's just competitive enough that he wanted to go back to it. And that's what I think is kind of cool about TNA is, yeah, let's play a few co-op games, and then here we go. Let's go against each other. So that's why TNA is on my list. Big fan. But all right, Dennis, what was your game number 3?
Okay. Now, you're noticing I'm getting older and older with these games. So my first 2 picks were very much oriented around people that maybe aren't familiar with pinball, haven't experienced pinball, gives a really good introduction to pinball. But I got to remember that I got extended family that knows what pinball is.
Okay.
So my next one's going to be Taxi.
And
that's going to be more for people that are my age. This wouldn't be my System 11 pick, but I think of any System 11, Taxi is a smart one to go with. It's broadly popular. The rules are easy to explain. Obviously, it can be a very brutal game. However, we're talking at home at Thanksgiving, so no one's going to be upset about losing all of their quarters. You can ramp out, go pick up all these passengers. You get the obnoxious bell ringing with the jackpot and everything. Give it to me ride. Everyone's going to be yelling that. I think it would be an excellent one for a Thanksgiving lineup.
It's got Gorbachev on the translate. How can you go wrong?
Yeah. So and Santa.
Yeah.
I'm kind of annoyed at this point because freaking Taxi's on my list. It's on my list.
That was on my short list too.
I know you love it. I know you and Lisa love it. It's a great game. You're totally right, Dennis. And I remember asking my dad before I had Godzilla, I said, of all the games that I've had in the basement, which one did he enjoy the most? And Taxi was his answer. He just thinks it's a fun layout. It's you can, it's so great. Yeah. You can totally explain the game easily. It's approachable, but yet there is strategy to it. And to be 100% honest, I love the modern era of pinball, but if I was to own one game that was not an LCD game, I'm pretty sure Taxi would be it. So I'm totally with you, Dennis. Taxi would be an absolutely great game.
Has to be the Maryland playfield though. No
Yeah,
Lola.
no Lola. Yeah. Great choice though. Taxi. All right. Well done. Well done. Somebody's gonna get my fifth. We'll see. So let's go. We'll start back with Hadi again.
Well, I will continue the System 11 era. I'll come up with the title that got me into pinball as far as when I was a teenager and kid and wowed me. And I think it'll have the same effect, and people will have played it. It's recognizable. It's my favorite pin of all time, so I'm being a little selfish, but I think other people will enjoy it. We are going with Whirlwind.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Yeah. There's just something about that fan. Everybody will get a chance to have the fan go off, generally through one game. You're just hitting a couple drop targets for the directional arrows, and then get into the shelter. Callouts are nice. It's a little more, at having to explain what the right ramp loops to for multi-ball as far as the locks. But they might get lucky, hit a scoop, and get a quick 2-ball multi-ball. So
yes. Did I spell that right? Please. Yep. God, I hate
good.
spelling
You're
so
good.
bad. This is me being honest. I don't know Whirlwind well. I've played it just 1 or 2 times at a show, and it wasn't immediately obvious what I needed to do. But whatever I did hit. I got the fan flipped on, and I enjoyed it. So I see it there. Like, I remember the layout being well, but I need somebody to stand by me for 2 minutes and just explain the rules, because I know there's a lot of people that love the game. I know you love it. I know Retro Gengo or whatever, like that. He's a super nice guy. He loves it. Like, Whirlwind's his favorite game. Senjo, I can't say. Anyways, I know there's a lot of love for the game. So, Mike, Dennis, you agree with that? Do you think that's Mike does? Okay.
Yeah, it probably is regarded as the best System 11 game.
Yeah, I think
probably.
generally speaking, if you were to poll people, it would be number 1 of 30. It's not my favorite, but it's up there.
So why is it then that I don't know. I just think like Taxi's so easy to understand. Am I just an idiot? What do I not understand about Whirlwind?
It's not straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean
it's like one of the last, if not the last System 11. I mean, it's more advanced.
Okay.
It's more advanced than the other ones. So.
All right. I see Rod Dog here. Got to be an EM, and then he's saying Adams, Demo Man.
For the rubes.
Yeah, Adams for the Rubes, Demo Man, Funhouse, and I don't know, Game of Thrones. I don't know, Game of Thrones. All right, totally different than what we're saying, but good pick. Treading dangerous grounds here, Joel. What did I do? Why? What did I say? what
Probably you going around saying how you were totally lost on System 11.
I get it. I just the fact that I'm saying out loud, am I an idiot? Yeah. we all right.
No clips.
Yeah. All right, Mike, go for it, man.
I too have a System 11, so we all have a
right,
System
there we
11
go.
on our list. Now, I was thinking more along the lines of you're having a gathering, you're having people over for food and dinner, Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving. So I picked Diner.
Yeah.
Diner.
Such a good.
Yes,
good
it's basically Taxi Part 2. It's same sort of, except for picking up passengers. You're serving
Taxi
patrons
food.
food.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a game. I mean, Taxi is probably my favorite System 11, but if I'm actually, for me, I would pick Taxi for my own personal collection. But if I'm doing it for family and friends coming over, I feel like the diner theme just fits the whole holiday thing with the eating and everything else. So
I'm with you. I think that makes sense. Unfortunately, I've only played Diner a handful of games on one location, and it was terrible. Like, it was, the game itself was in terrible condition, so I haven't really been able to experience. It was like, everything was wrong. The shots, weak, everything, couldn't make ramps, the lighting was awful. So Diner is definitely a game that I know I need to put more time on. But good. No, I think it's more theme appropriate. I'll give you that for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So good choice there. Dennis, number 4. We're getting older, so older in System 11. Here we go.
We are.
Yep.
And as I look, especially at my picks, because that's what I was focused on, but looking at everyone's picks, I don't feel like we have something yet that celebrates drop targets. And I think drop targets are an important piece that some family members are going to want to experience. So I'm going to put down El Dorado City of Gold.
Wow.
Okay.
You could do the EM El Dorado if you want, but City of Gold will mean we can have 4-player games on it. And that is just to give people a really traditional drop target, heyday, golden era of Gottlieb experience of trying to knock those things down.
All right, I got to look this game up. Oh, Hobbit. That's what he said. If you love, if we're loving drop targets, why is Hobbit not your pick? There is a lot
Hobbit
of drop.
will never be on my list.
I loved
Never.
Hobbit, but
Never,
what I found was
Not
Hobbit
ever.
was way too overwhelming for my friends and family. There was so much going on they couldn't focus. You aren't kidding. Holy cow. That's a lot of drop targets.
There's a few games with that exact layout, like Dennis said. There's also Target Alpha.
Yep.
That is also the exact same layout. Is Target Alpha 4 players or is that 2?
I can't remember if it's the 2 or the 4.
Yeah.
So you think novice, or you're saying, is this your experienced family that would love this game, or you just like the idea of hit drops?
You said it was a Thanksgiving with family members coming over.
So
I
your
can't
family, okay.
assume I can't assume what their skill levels are, but some of them who, like people like my parents' age, would probably if you tell them pinball, they're going to probably think drop targets. That's what pinball was for a long time. And honestly, aside from a few exceptions like World Poker Tour that Pinmonk mentioned in the chat, drop targets are not commonly done all that much anymore, especially not like this.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
this is not the only one that had a lot. Like Gottlieb leaned onto drop targets big time. That was a major design motif of theirs, and we don't do it anymore, probably because we're too busy putting stickers on things and cheaping out on mechs. So this is not. And I don't know if you've ever played any like Target Alpha or El Dorado or something. You can have a decent time as a novice hitting a lot of those drops. It's not.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's not. I mean, if TNA's okay for new blitz, they can play El Dorado.
Beatles has a lot of drops. You know.
Yes. Beatles also
ramps?
cost more than a Stern Pro.
Yeah. All right. What is this? Somebody wrote Sky Jump. Is that a game?
Yeah, that's an EM.
Mhm. Yep, lots of drops on it.
Apparently, it's 2
Atlantis has a
words.
lot of drops, right? On the left side.
There
I
we go.
think so.
Sky Jump. Is this a 1-player game? 16
Probably a
drops on
wedge.
World Poker Tour. Is 16 the most? Because what? Hobbit has like 11, 13, something? I don't know. Oh, I see what we're doing here. Yeah, you weren't kidding. A lot of drops.
World Poker Tour has a lot of drop targets too. For a modern game, it's probably the most in a modern game.
That's what they're saying. 16
Yeah.
is that.
Is it? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It's Pinball.
Yeah, I almost put Joker Poker on instead of El Dorado, but I actually thought that might play too hard for people.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to say my game first because I want to. Somebody might have this game. But okay. Well, yeah, I'll say it. All right, here we go. Stranger Things. Stranger Things is my last one. Premium is my And the reason I'm going with that is that game with the projector is unlike anything else that's in pinball from an experience standpoint. And it's very easy to understand what you need to do. Yes, with UV, drop the ramp, hit the guy in the mouth, the camera, the projector, everything. It's just that game was played a ton. The Pro, a stripped down Pro with no UV kit, nothing, was played a lot by my friends and family when it was here. So that's why if you throw in UV kit and projector, all that, I guarantee that would be played, and it would just be one of those. At least with my nieces and nephews, all that stuff, just they'd be like, have you hit him? Did you hit him? That would be all that's all they'd want to do. So Stranger Things. Did anybody else? No?
That almost changed my mind when you said that.
Oh.
But I'm not going to choose it because I'm salty. I can't find
Okay,
it.
because Hadi, if you would have chosen it, we would have the exact same list except for our Whirlwind and Taxi. But all right, that's my thought. Stranger Things. We will get to honorable mentions because we'll get to honorable mentions. But let's finish out our list of 5. Dennis, you want to go next?
Sure. Okay. So my last one is Sing Along.
Sing along.
Sing Along. It's electromechanical, 1 player, 2-inch flippers, no spinners, no drops, no Italian layout for the bottom. Very, very cool mechanical feature in the middle where the ball will kick over from saucer to saucer to saucer. Now, people might not know this name Sing Along, but once I say what the feature is, a lot of people, if you've ever experienced it, it's unforgettable. And so this is for Gramps. Gotta get something out there for Gramps. And you gotta get something, in my view, on Thanksgiving for people who maybe hate everything else we've been talking about with these flow monsters and fancy UV kits and hiding behind our stickers and our color changing LEDs. And be like, at one point, this is how they experimented with pops and saucers and weird inlanes and trying to stack your lights all together and max it all out with a teeny tiny flippers where real control is a challenge. So Sing Along.
Did you see J.S. Jab's response? Elvira for Gramps.
We played this at District 82. Travis
know-
was
yeah,
teaching me how it worked. This was a really cool one.
I never played this one, but there is I think it's either the exact layout or extremely similar, and it's called Melody. I believe
It might
it's
be a
called
different
Melody.
player. It might be a different player count change up.
Maybe, but
Gauntlet
yeah,
is
I
fun
love
with
that. I love those 4 scoops and
So
the
it hits
feature how
this,
it kicks it
and
over.
it kicks it
into,
over,
Yeah,
and then down, right?
Yep. And you can get up to
Interesting.
5 extra balls, I think. I think you could have a max of 10 balls in play or in one game.
I
think that's what the difference. One of the games is an add-a-ball game, and I think maybe the other one might not be an add-a-ball game.
Interesting. Yeah, that scoop reminded me a tiny bit of NBA Fast Break, where you can use the scoops to throw the ball around, and I always thought that was a creative use of the scoops to like move the ball from scoop to scoop to scoop. So
and it always does it. So this is not like a big random control. Going into the saucers is safe. It will kick them all over to the right, and then it feeds to the flipper if it's properly configured.
Yeah, no matter what if you put it in the 3rd saucer, it'll kick it to the 4th and kick it out, or if you put it in the 2nd, it'll
And you get the more you get out of each saucer for the number of lights that you have stacked together. And going around and lighting those numbers is where the challenge is, because they are all over. You have to play the entire board.
That would be a good tournament game. Like Hadi said, that was at D82. I'm sure that was a good competitive game to play for an EM anyway.
Oh, definitely.
Very cool. Would you own this, Dennis?
I've tried to buy one, yes.
Oh, okay. Nice. Very cool. Yeah, that's a great. I still like my answer, but I like your answer because that is a pretty cool thing. Very, very cool. Mike, go for it.
So I was thinking along the same lines as Dennis with the drop targets, but I was sort of incorporating drop targets and Grandma and Grandpa at the same time. And my last pick is Volley.
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 That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, right, that's a great game. It's I love playing it now. It's again another good EM competitive game. It's got lots of drop targets. It's got like 15 dropped. It's the bottom one.
Okay.
It's got 15 drop targets. Easy rules.
You
fun
shouldn't
to
have
play.
to. Okay, I was gonna say I was looking at the sorry, I was watching the Twitch feed, which was delayed, and I saw Joel's staggering of like, do I pick Taito or do I pick the company I've heard of?
Yeah. I hesitated for a second or two. Wow, God, why is that zoom so big? Cool. So 5 right up the middle. Yeah. Oh, there's a ton. There's this whole
there's the whole concept behind the game is that the lanes up top are colored according to the drop target. You have a blue, yellow, and a green.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put it in the blue lane, it makes all the blue drop targets 5,000 points each. If you put it in the yellow, it makes the yellows 5 and green, and so on and so forth. So your objective is to try and get all those lanes lit and then just rip off drop targets as much as you can. When you clear all 15 drop targets, they'll pop back up again, and then you can just keep going for 5,000 points every time.
That's actually pretty slick. Nice. Very cool. Looks like in chat here we have a lot of love for volley. So great choice.
D82.
All right,
Is there
Hadi.
one there?
Yeah, it was in the tourney. It was a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Carter need to you guys need to cross the border.
Yeah,
And come on down to one of
it's
those.
expensive right now. I mean, we're paying for 2 people to get out there, so
Yeah.
hopefully flights will come down a little bit.
You're not
and
going to
we
make
definitely want to get out
Carter with all of his pinball winnings pay for himself. Just, yeah.
there. That might be a good idea.
There we go. How many of these are made? How many of these are made? Where do I see? Oh, I'm in this. Go back. Get out of the gallery. Doesn't it say here?
2,900. It said, well, planned 2,900.
Oh, okay. Planned, but yeah. All right. All right. And Hadi?
I am definitely on the path as everybody else. Find an older one, and I think of bowling as a common theme that people will enjoy. So I was actually trying to decide between Grand Prix, which has really nice spinners to rip, and I think people would enjoy it as an older title. But I'm going to go with 300 by Gottlieb, 1975, because of the interactive back glass as well. I think the spinner up the middle, plus the 2 scoops on the top left to either collect your bonus that you already have, which is represented by little bowling balls in the back glass. I played it at Expo 2 years ago.
Oh, down there, yeah.
Or a year ago, and it is a lot of fun. It is, there it is. It's got a 4-player option, and every time you build up enough points to build a bonus, a little bowling ball in the back glass goes through the bowling ball prep machine, whatever it's called.
Right here, yeah.
The official name is. And then if you fill it up, you can actually collect your bonus mid-ball by shooting the top left scoop, or get a random bonus added to your score with the yellow scoop right next to it. It's got some cool in-lanes on the right-hand side. It's got an in-lane of death exit on the right. It's just fun. I love the spinner. I love everything about it. I think people would enjoy trying to get it up the middle and increasing the lights to maximum capacity on the center.
Nice.
And it makes a lot of cool noises.
Yeah, it is very clear to me that I need to play some older games. But unfortunately, there's none at anywhere around me. So that's where you have, I just need to, it sounds like when I'm at shows, I need to do a better job of playing the older games that are there and not just some of the, modern games that I don't have a chance to play very often. So that's really neat. Or places like District 82 and others. Jew Rules, I would pick Elvira House of Horrors, World Cup Soccer, Attack from Mars, Godzilla, and Simpsons Pinball Party. Yeah. Those are Elvira for Gramps. Gramps may love it, but I don't know if I want some of my my young nephew playing Elvira. But play some cat. I know. I need to play some more. Honorable mentions. Does anybody have any honorable mentions that they want to rattle off real quick? Or
Definitely.
What do you got, Mike?
So I had a couple. One of them was for the Dad Rock fans, right? You got to have a Dad Rock game. So if I had a 6th game, it would be Iron Maiden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's for the Dad Rock fans, right? You got the 50 somethings who were had rocked the long hair when they were younger and listened to the Iron Maiden. So I figure that would be a good game to have.
Yeah. Squalito is saying GNR. I know GNR is an experience. There's no denying that. There's so much going on in the game. It's kind of hard to know what you're doing. That's what I found when trying to communicate that to any of my dad or my brother, anybody that tried to step up and play it. Having the extra monitor down in the playfield telling you what to do is super helpful. But yeah, that's a good.
And then the other one I had was, I guess, sort of along the same lines as you were talking about with Turtles, but for me it would be Mandalorian, with the co-op.
Okay.
Right. So I was between Turtles, TNA, and Mando, and I felt like Mando was probably the easiest one for people to play, because Turtles and TNA are really challenging. But I thought a co-op game might be fun for that as well.
Fantastic. No, those are great. I would say the ones that were on my list that moved, where I had mentioned already, Medieval Madness was one of them. Um, but I think Godzilla is the better choice there. But my other one that almost made it was a P3 multimorphic with Heist. And the reason I picked that was I think the P3 does an exceptional job communicating what you're supposed to do. It has the whole playfield to do that. And I think it's once again a unique pinball experience that I think would adapt well to the younger generations because it's so video mode heavy. Plus Heist, it's such a cool mech when that ball comes out, that I think that would be a fun challenge for people to like see that and then try to hit the ball off. It's just a really unique experience. So a P3 with Heist was actually going to be, P3 with Heist was on there, and then I swapped it with Taxi. I just think Taxi is so good. So yeah, it's funny everyone picked TS4 and so many people complain about it. Yes, I think TS4 does its job exceptionally well. It is meant for like it is a license that's super recognizable, and it's a family friendly game, and the shots are easy to hit. It's easy to know what you need to do. The light show, everything. It does all that very, very well. Oh, we just lost somebody because
I'm back.
It's fine.
Because our
This is
videos
fine.
went. So yes, I do. I think it makes sense. TS4. Hadi, did you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I think Attack from Mars, Monster Bash, and Stranger Things are definitely up there.
Okay.
Monster Bash I think would be a lot of fun. But yeah, those three. I think Stranger Things almost made the list.
Okay. Good. And Dennis, I feel like you whittled yours down very well. But did you have any other one?
You told me to pick 5. I don't have any.
All right. So here's the last question that I have for you guys. This is we kind of talked about this a little bit during the break. If you had to add one more game, but it wasn't pinball. If you had to have one more game that wasn't pinball, so one arcade cabinet, or it could be a dartboard, a pool table, a golden tee, a big buck hunter. One more game to your game room, air hockey. One more game. Well, Squalito, real quick, Street Fighter 2. That's what he wrote. Mike, you got one? One more game.
You know what? I'm with Squalito. I actually have I do have a Street Fighter cabinet. Like you can see, I have the arcade one up here. I have a Street Fighter one. I have 2 Street Fighter arcade one up cabinets, actually, 2 different ones. I also have Street Fighter tattoos on my calves. I have I have a Ken and a Ryu shooting fireballs at each other from one calf to another. So I was a competitive Street Fighter player before I got into pinball. I actually even played at the World Championships in 2013 in Las Vegas. So Street Fighter is definitely a game. I grew up playing Street Fighter. A lot of people used to call me Street Fighter Mike, and my license plate on my license plate on my car actually says SF Mike because it's Street Fighter Mike. That's what they used to call me because I was the king of my arcade growing up. If you wanted a challenge, people came to my arcade to play, apparently, Street Fighter Mike, which was what they called me. So Street Fighter would definitely be up there, and would, I mean, I have it, so.
So, wow.
So was that Evo in 2013?
Evo, yeah, Evo. I played Evo in 2013.
I watch Evo every year.
Yeah, I was there in 2013. Now, I didn't do very well. I was probably the oldest competitor because I'm 47. So if you do the math,
Daigo's still playing.
Daigo is still playing, yes. I was still in my 30s, which was probably 10 years older than 99% of the players there. But I went for Street Fighter 4. That was the big game in 2013. And Marvel versus Capcom, which, I mean, was too ridiculously fast for me. But I'm a huge fighting game enthusiast, and that is like my first love. So I will always have a fighting game cabinet here. I also have a Mortal Kombat as well. But Street Fighter was definitely my first love.
Dang, nice. I did not know. Yeah.
There you go.
Rod Dog, top 5 Thanksgiving discs. Hadi, Mike, Dennis, Joel, Craig, Bobby. Honorable mention Obama. Thank you, Raw Dog. SJab, who's Mike's favorite character? Who did you play?
Okay, so in the original Street Fighter, my favorite character was Guile. That was typically the character I went with. But like in the newer modern stuff, Street Fighter 4, I played DJ.
Nice. Dang,
Mike. You guys probably have no idea who I'm talking about.
Guile, I know. No, there's actually a guy around here in India. I've sold DJ, I've sold games to him before, and that's all he does is Street Fighter, like streaming it and professionally, and he does Guile. That's the only guy I know. Crazy flat top hair guy, right? Isn't that Guile?
Mm-hmm. Guile is yeah. He's got the camo gear. He's like the American soldier guy, and
perfect. All right, Hadi, do you know what you'd get?
Yeah, again, it's a toss up. I think a MAME cab, so I could play Mortal Kombat's my all-time favorite series of video games of all time. I'd love to be able to play that. So I don't want to limit myself. So a MAME cab with at least 2 players, at least I could play a bunch of arcade games. I think a Golden Tee would be really cool because that has such good online connectivity these days.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of fun. But then I also think of those old school Chex bubble hockey.
Yep.
Games. If I had to choose out of the 3, I'm probably going with the MAME arcade cab, just because everybody has a classic arcade game that they love to play. You could even throw on Mario Brothers, the original.
Oh yeah.
You could throw on the arcade version of Contra and still find people that would love to play it. But fighting games, beat 'em ups, like Final Fight, Alien vs Predator, I think was one. Those are the way to go, I think. But it's tough because I would definitely love a Golden Tee, so I don't know.
Yeah, I have a MAME cabinet. That's the one arcade game I have, and it gets played. Yeah, and it's everything that you're mentioning here. So it's Super Mario Brothers. It's Turtles. Turtles gets played. Simpsons. There's a bunch of games. A bunch of the Marvel vs. Capcom. All the stuff. But if you had to do just one arcade cabinet, would you say Mortal Kombat?
It would be Mortal Kombat 2.
Got it.
I've probably put in more hours playing that than I did studying in college. Like it is just the most unreal experience. When I first saw the first Mortal Kombat and seeing Sub-Zero rip somebody's head off, I was flabbergasted. And then Mortal Kombat 2 came around, and that was everything to me.
Nice.
But yeah, I'd probably pick Mortal Kombat 2 then.
Very cool.
I couldn't pick that for the family get together though. Like so give me Golden Tee then. I can't, like, if it was just me, Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
Fatality, Grandpa, rip his head off.
Grandpa, where's your spine?
Dennis, I know I sprung this on you. But yeah, what are your thoughts there?
Well, I mean, now I do have a couple of, or had a couple of, so I also have a MAME. I built a MAME cabinet years ago. And so I have that in the garage at this point. And when I did have it in the game room, it did get played. And I had air hockey too, which the kids loved, but it was way too loud.
Yeah.
That had to go. So I was actually leaning towards probably saying something like Pac-Man, but honestly, Mike has just dredged up all of my fighting game memories. So put me down for Street Fighter 2 also. So let me reminisce a little bit here. I was never arcade Dennis. Okay. I didn't have that level of skill. But when I was in college, when I first went to college, me and my roommates, we didn't have cable. We didn't want to pay for it. So all we did was play Street Fighter 2 Turbo. That's all we did on console. And until we got bored with only playing one video game, and we finally agreed we would split cable 4 ways and get cable. So, I went through and I played that quite a bit. Street Fighter 4, in fact, was the last Street Fighter I played. I don't play fighting games as much as I used to. Dragon Ball FighterZ is my most recent that I have put some time in on. And I would say I was probably Ken and Ryu for Street Fighter 4. And then back with Street Fighter 2, I initially favored Dalsum quite a bit, and then I kind of switched over quite a bit to Zangief and started doing the Big Russian. So it was just like, that was really my introduction to fighting games, and it was just what we poured a lot of our time into instead of doing our school stuff. So fond memories of that. And when it comes to people coming up and playing an arcade game, there's nothing like the old putting the quarter down and we're gonna go at it in a head-to-head.
Yeah.
Fighting games are the best way to do it.
Yeah, Yeah.
The best thing about it is if you were good enough, you could sit on the machine for hours on one quarter, and people would just keep coming up and challenging you. You beat them, next up. You beat them, next up. So yeah, you could save a lot of money if you were good at those games.
Street Fighter Mike, man.
Yeah.
Street Fighter Mike. So I will give
Did you say which characters were your tattoos?
Ken and Ryu. I have Ken on one calf.
Okay.
And Ryu on the other calf. They're both Hadoken fireballs at each other.
You don't want to awkwardly try to stand on your chair backwards and show the camera. That's a
See, I struggled with Guile. Anyone that had a charge attack where I had to hold back before I could Sonic Boom, I felt like I was too slow and I could throw Hadoukens a lot better. That's why I leaned towards anyone that required only quarter circle movements.
There you go.
I can put a picture in the Discord.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yes, please.
I will tell you my answer. But what I would say is it's not an arcade cabinet. If I was to pick an arcade cabinet, I will tell you the arcade game that I've had the most fun competing against my friends and family in is Puzzle Bobble. Puzzle Bobble. So I'd do like a Neo Geo Big Red Cab with either a cartridge with all the Neo Geo games or just straight up Puzzle Bobble. Puzzle Bobble, I think is an exceptionally fun head-to-head video game. That would be my go-to answer, and that gets played a good bit on my main cabinet. But my answer is Big Buck Hunter. Yeah, that would be my go-to. I think a shooting game is super accessible to anybody, and there's just something about, especially one of the newer modern ones with some of the other games that are on there. Puzzle Bobble gets a lot of play on our main. Exactly. Yes. So Big Buck, I just think I personally have had more fun. I never really got into fighting games. I feel like I'm missing out on something now, but Big Buck Hunter, I think would be a great time. Cause anybody can pick that up and shoot, right. And try to hit stuff. So that's my go-to. I would take that over, a pool table or anything like that. I will say though, my parents did say if anybody in our arcade community has a skee ball game up for sale, they would want it. So I think skee ball is another game that anybody could play. But skee ball, having that in my house, they're huge.
That's really big.
They're huge and they're loud. They're freaking loud. So Conti, my big buck one up gets a lot of play. Yeah, I think so. And somebody else had said the other tempting arcade cabinet would be like a Turtles. I obviously I like Turtles, and yeah, it's a fun game.
Have you ever looked into those? Oh gosh, I don't know what they call them, like bowlers.
Yeah,
the EM
bowler,
era. Yeah. And they're not quite as big as skee ball. They're very large, but and they're not too badly priced. Mostly because especially if you go EM, because everyone's scared of fixing them.
The shuffle ones are pretty slick, but then they actually have the like almost duck pin, like where you actually have a ball and you're throwing it. I mean, now we're talking huge, but yeah, those would get played, and those would be competitive. I mean, because anybody can throw a ball or shuffle a puck or whatever. So,
Grandpa.
Not if he lost both of his hands in the war, but you didn't care about that.
All right,
Put him back on Elvira.
I think that was a fun game. That was a fun game. I think I appreciate you guys.
Did I win it like I won the last game?
Dude, you freaking dominated that game, Dennis.
Mike was close. Arcade Mike almost had me, but
Street Fighter Mike.
I put the picture in our direct
those are cool.
chat there.
I unfortunately can't get to that without everybody seeing everything. So everybody just picture awesome tattoos. That's that's
pretty cool.
All right. Well,
you gotta get the Street Fighter. Sorry to interrupt. Seiko has a Street Fighter watch.
Ooh. There you go. Send him that link.
I used to own the pinball machine. I've had it twice. I've had the Street Fighter 2.
That's tough, man.
Cheesy mashed potatoes all around your license head.
That's tough. God, it's so bad. But all right. Well, yeah. Let's do some plugs real quick. Let's wrap it up. We're at midnight. Hadi, plug away, man.
I'm Hadi. I'm Frisco Pinball. You can catch me on twitch.tv/Frisco Pinball or twitch.tv/the Pinball Network, not the Pinball Network. Mondays at 10 p.m. Central. I play some physical stuff, some virtual stuff. Just come check it out. I'm gonna stream later tonight. I generally always stream late at night when everybody's gone to bed. We're gonna play some more Die Hard, some Iron Man, hopefully. I've also been playing Cult of the Lamb, so if you like that game, great roguelike series. And yeah, make sure you check out all of TPN. We try to bring you some good content daily and have some fun.
Yeah, very cool. My tattoos do not translate to Street Fighter Joel. Street Fighter Mike. Good to know. Good to know. Dennis, plug away, man.
Yes, well, I'm Dennis. Thanks for having me on. Over with the Pinball Show on the Pinball Network. I also do Eclectic Gamers Podcast over on Not Any Network, and that's pretty much all I do anymore. So
Yeah, support that Patreon. Throw that link
That's
in
right.
chat.
don't worry, it's in there.
There we go. Yeah, Mike, go for it, man.
Well, I'm Street Fighter Mike, and you can catch me playing pinball because I'm too old to play fighting games now, and I don't have the reflexes anymore. You can catch me on Pinballers channel on Twitch and Tuesday evenings on TPN.
Yes, awesome. And yeah, my name is Joel. I do this stream every other Wednesday. I went ahead and started the raid. It's going to take a little while.
Ooh,
we're
Vinny.
gonna raid Vinny Blanc. Carlos is an awesome. There's only two people playing pinball right now, but Carlos is incredible. But I like supporting the smaller guys. Yeah, tomorrow night I will be streaming on the Pinball Network. So check that out. Not the Pinball Network, on Flipping Out Pinball. So definitely check me out there. Triple Drain, we released a new one last week. We do have a Triple Drain Patreon, so feel free to check us out there. And then hopefully I'll have another just another pinball podcast sometime soon. I'm trying to get a designer lined up. Everything's lined up, ready to go, but I'm trying to play a game first. So I'm waiting on that. But yeah, we have so much longer on this raid. These raids take so long.
Why is it so slow? What?
It's Restream. I don't know why, but going through
can't
Restream
manually
instead
do
of
it.
it being like a
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because what it does is there's a little bar that goes down, giving people a chance to join the raid. And normally you would see a button that you can just click and go to raid now, but there's no button in Restream, so you'd have to wait
you have
for
to
that bar.
let it finish.
Yeah.
My guess would be about a minute left. So people are still here. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks for being here. But yeah, I don't know. I think it went. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
It just went. Wonderful. All right. Well, if anybody's still here, go check out Vinny. Appreciate you guys.